Hi, it's Monday, it's 3 o'clock. Welcome to Together Unlocked, brought to you as always by the Disability Arts Organisation Together 2012. We're based here in the main Paralympic host borough of Newham. I'm Ju Gosling, also known as the artist Ju90, and with me in my studio in Canning Town is our chair, the artist Julie Newman. Before we do some more introductions and a bit of audio description, I'm going to go to the other end of our long virtual sofa in the West Midlands for some introduction and audio description from our co-hosts.
Well, hi, good afternoon. Yeah, I am Robin Surgeonator. I am one of the many co-hosts of Together Unlocked TV. Very carefully said there. Yeah, up here in Sutton Coldfield, sitting on our rather comfy sofa with wheels. It's very good, actually. Everyone should have one. Today I am sort of tidy-ish. Having actually been out to a funeral this morning, but got changed again. So I have lovely grey blonde white hair. That's a really good description. No rimmed black armed glasses. See, it's so difficult to remember that that's what they are, even though I'm looking at them. Ever so slightly unshaven, and I'm wearing a dark blue polo shirt that says Queen's Park Rangers, the Millennium Stadium. And actually, to show, this must have been a fabulous quality T-shirt because on the back it says 03. So this T-shirt is in fact 17 years old. Now that could just be that I'm tight, but hey, there you go. Over to you.
Hi, I'm Josh Surgeonator. I'm also one of the hosts of Together Unlocked TV, and I'm a PhD student in my spare time. I have very kind of fluffy blonde hair today, no glasses, and I'm wearing a long sleeve grey kind of quarter zip top that has white writing on it that says Chicago Bulls, and then a red ball face with white horns, because it's the logo of a basketball team.
Well, that makes sense of the little blob that I'm seeing at this end now. So I have very short...
No way to talk about Josh.
Don't worry, I thought you were talking about Robin. So
So I have very short red tenured hair in a self-inflicted corona crop. I've got black plastic glasses, black wrist braces, silver jewellery, and a pretty fluorescent bright green short-sleeved top with a zip and a high neck. I think if a T-shirt doesn't last at least 20 years, it's not worth buying in the first place. But we are also, or we have been, Green Business of the Year. Julie, more introduction and audio description from you.
Hi, I'm Julie Newman. I'm the chair of Together 2012. Between us, there's a little teddy who's wearing a medal this week.
How did he get that medal?
He won.
Yes, London 2012 holds this week's record for the Clockwork Paralympics, but for that, you will have to join us again on Wednesday. We also support the International Bear Hunt, which is why we have teddy bears in the background, ours wearing a gold medal because
Indeed,
we won
yes.
the Clockwork
We won
Paralympics.
it, yes, we did.
We did find in March that Robin, as a Paralympian with many gold medals to his fame, found the idea of Clockwork Paralympics just a little bit disrespectful, but he's got so into it now that all he wants to do is win.
Yeah.
And we don't quite understand how they've managed to win the vast majority of them when it's supposed to be a game of chance. Again, join us on Wednesday.
Winning is a habit.
And true randomness isn't random.
Yeah. And let's hang on to that thought, because what we all need to do is win against coronavirus. And at 3:15, at the latest of our AppDates will be coming up. Newham, very excitingly, is trialling the new NHS Test and Trace app. So we are going to be talking more about that later. But in the meantime, on a Friday... Sorry, Julie, did you have something to add?
I was going to say what I look like.
Sorry.
We got overexcited about the winning bear.
Not to mention the NHS app.
And the NHS app, hooray.
What do you look like, Julie?
I look a little bit worse for wear, actually, having had a very relaxed weekend. I need to get myself back into gear for the week. I've got silver and gold hair. I've got dark rimmed glasses. I'm currently wearing a white t-shirt, which says in black writing, "Choose love." I have which arm is it? I've got a silver torque bracelet with little wolf's heads on the inside, and I treated myself to a cheapo but nonetheless working smartwatch.
So you couldn't really tell it was smart from looking at it, though.
It does every so often. It comes on
Without
randomly. Yes, so it's sort of like it's quite interesting. Still, I've only had it a couple of days this
Yeah,
week.
it's that smart. It goes, "Oi, do you not know the time?"
Yes, I think before lockdown, I used to often yell at my phone, "Call yourself smart," but I think I've got to appreciate it a bit more in this, our digital year. But now it is time for AppDate. I can't believe that we've
Hooray.
already done 4 AppDates, and we only knew about 10 days ago that Newham had the honour of testing the app. So we've both downloaded it and installed it. And if you haven't, Julie, I don't want to know.
I don't have my letter.
Do you have? All right. So great. So today we are looking at questions and answers. Julie's question is she has not received her letter, so how can she download the app? And my answer is, as we told the audience on Friday, every household has been sent a letter with 5 random codes. They are not linked to your address. They are not linked to your name. All of this is anonymised. If you don't have 5 people in your household, you can pass them on. If, like my household at the moment, there are 2 people living here for the duration, you can have one of the other 5 codes.
Thank you.
But because it was your birthday last week and you were resting at the weekend, I dare say you get off. So it's very easy to find a code, but it's also easy to get it another way. You can just contact the app team. We will stick the thing up under highlights and links. So, for example, if you run a business in Newham, but you don't live in Newham, or you work in Newham, you want to trial it, you've got more than 5 people living in the house because for whatever reason, the council has licensed it for even more tenants than that. It's easy enough to get a code. Do you have other questions before I go on to some of the ones that are on social media?
I mean, obviously, up in Sutton Coldfield, the app hasn't reached us. So, is there any kind of timeline on how long the pilot is before they do start to roll it out to further places? Because everyone talks about, we've got a track and trace app, and it's like, well, have you really?
Well, I think it's all going to happen quite quickly, and that's why there's been so little notice, because nobody wants to hang around. If something's ready quicker than you think it is, you don't really want to sort of hang around for weeks so that you can schedule it properly. It all depends on how successful the pilot is, and to a great extent, that depends on you, the viewers, not just people living in Newham, because everybody can help. What we need is as much feedback as possible about what makes an app accessible, what makes it inaccessible, what problems do you come across when you have to update it, because of course it's going to need to be updated, and it may always be automatic, but it may not. And just more generally, we've embraced this in our digital year as an opportunity to talk about all things app related. So we're interested. Are you an artist who's got a favourite app? Are you an artist who's presented your work as an app? Are you an arts organisation who has commissioned an app? I've already been speaking to one of them. So we're really interested to know that. The timeline we've seen could be as early as next month, but it really, really depends on how successful we can make it. My gut feeling, as one of the people that they describe as an internet pioneer from the sort of early 90s, is that actually it's very nearly there. That's not to say there aren't issues, but it looks to me like the sort of key issues, and particularly the technical issues, because what scuppered the Isle of Wight trial was the fact they were doing a different app at that point. And the problem with that app is that it simply couldn't do what it needed to do because of the way the phones worked. So what they've done is move over to the same underlying system that's being used throughout the world, and that's based on Apple and Google coming up with basically a change to their operating system to allow Bluetooth to run in the background. Because phones, of course, these days are supposed to be energy saving, but the app works on Bluetooth, and it needs Bluetooth to be working all of the time, even when your phone is not switched off, powered down, but switched off in terms of, you haven't got a screen showing. And that's been a cause, I think, of a lot of misunderstanding. I've seen quite a few people on social media say, why haven't they bothered to make the app for older phones? Why do you have to have a new phone? You don't have to have a new phone, but you do need to have the latest operating system. So for Apple, which is the phone that I use, it's 13.5 or later. That is a very recent update because, like I say, Apple and Google have written new software especially for this app. That's how much they're supporting it. That is how seriously they take it. But they can't go backwards. They can't go back 2 or 3 years and foresee coronavirus and write this software into that code. So you do need to update. And if you can update, it is worth updating. Again, I'm really more of a Mac expert, but I spent lunchtime reading lots of reviews around the update, which had got nothing to do with the app. And generally speaking, it's an update that has been really welcomed. There's a further tiny update coming tonight, and I'm hoping that means that it's even better because, of course, one of the problems is whenever you bring out a new system, it then needs some little tweaks. But this particular system, and I know Josh is nodding away, so I'm going to come on to him in a minute, is already designed to be much more secure. They discovered that under the older operating systems before 13, there was a security breach. That security breach still exists. So if you want to run the app and make sure nobody can hack your phone, install the update. Josh, have you got anything to add about the Apple and the iPhone?
No, I was just nodding with kind of what you were saying around the updates and writing the new code. Best will in the world, you can have the greatest programmers, when all of a sudden you release it to the mass population. If there is a bug in there, that even if it's 1 in 10,000, when you release it to 10 million people, all of a sudden you get a wave of people going, oh my God, my phone suddenly started working. Teething problems happen. It doesn't mean that apps fail. It doesn't mean that, what they're doing isn't going to work. Technical glitches happen, and that's why the phones constantly get updates. And if you read most of the updates on your phone, most of the time it's bug fix, stability improvement, and it's just tiny little kind of tweaks to things. It's not huge sweeping things. It's going to change how your phone works. It's behind the scenes back end things that you'll never even see, that just make it kind of super stable and run properly.
And that's exactly why Newham's been chosen, because I've seen some very interesting conspiracy theories around that as well, which come on to if we have some time, which I doubt. But we have over 300,000 people. In fact, I believe it's closer to 360,000 people living in a very small area. 1 in 8 people speak a language that less than 1% of the rest of the borough speaks. So we're a great place to test. But it does need those numbers. It's like you say, you need 10,000 people to find a bug. Some bugs you might need 100,000 people, and that's why we need everybody to sign up. So the next point, and it might be the last point we've got time to deal with today, but we will be doing AppDate at 3:15 on every show, is people have been saying, I want to use the QR scanner, but nobody has got a poster up yet. That, I think, is probably true, but think again. Businesses only knew about this pilot when everybody else in the borough did, which means that businesses only got their code in the post on Friday. If the post was delivered, they may only have got their codes in the post today. They then have to go online, download their code and they have to print out and put their poster up. Yes, in an ideal world, it would indeed have been so much better to have launched it with the businesses a week early, but presumably there wasn't time. We have suggested that when they launch the app across the country, maybe it's a good idea to just give the businesses as much notice as they can. But people are trying their best. Just because you don't see a poster today doesn't mean the same place won't have one up by tomorrow. Tell them about it. They may not even know. You know, there is no conspiracy going on here. We're all just trying our best with no additional resources at a time when a lot of people are on holiday. But we can make it work. We will make it work. And then it will be working for the rest of the UK. In the meantime, as I said at the beginning, tell us what you think about apps. What do you love? What do you hate? What are your favourites? Which are the ones do you love to loathe? Are you developing an app? You know, we're actually in the process of developing our own colouring book app for our Charlie and the Sea Monsters project, and I know other arts organisations are as well. So I'm just going to briefly put some text at the bottom of the page. Our website address is www.together2012.org.uk, and you can contact us at info@together2012.org.uk. Now